Make friends who allow you to be emotionally safe to talk around them. I keep experiencing people who love my big personality, love all my advice, love the things that I have to say. But then when we get close or intimate and I start talking about my deep personal stuff or things I'm going through, it's too much all of a sudden. And I'm starting to realize there are a lot of people who love to people please as far as being friendship groups and having people around them that make them feel good, but they don't actually want to talk to them. And it's surprising to me that a lot of people don't realize these are the type of friendships that they have where they still feel so alone while they're in a group of people, or they feel so alone in a crowded room because none of those people are actually trying to understand you. They're not actually trying to get you. I require friendships that actually want to know who I am and ask questions. And in the beginning, I treat friendships like relationships, where, I mean, they are relationships, but I treat them the same way, where I'm going to ask you a lot of questions in the beginning. I'm going to ask about who you are, what you like, what you're into, your triggers, the things that make you happy, the things that excite you. Because as a friend, I want to know that I'm showing up in a way that makes you feel comfortable. But if you're not being able to reciprocate that for me, then yes, I feel emotionally unsafe to be in that friendship. I keep trying to understand people who are more overtly sensitive than me. I got into emotional intelligence because I'm stereotypical Aquarius. I come off aloof, I come off detached. I might seem like I don't care. I might not care, but I might still care about the person. And so I've always tried to learn how to be more open to receiving people who are a little bit more sensitive with how they deal with others. But in that same spectrum of sensitivity, if I'm talking to you about a topic that you're uncomfortable talking to me about, just say you're uncomfortable. And we don't have to have that discussion. But don't get awkward, make it more awkward, like, oh my God, people can hear you. Oh my God, this is weird. And now you're looking around for something that's not happening, making it more awkward for me to now feel like I can communicate with you. And then you like walk away or like try to avoid me. And that's weird. And I'm talking about a situation that recently happened because it threw me off. Like we were at a bar, we're drinking. So when you have alcohol in your system, of course, things are going to seem bigger than what they are. But this person just kept going out of their way to make it seem like I was talking about the most inappropriate stuff when I wasn't. No cussing, no graphic sex talk, nothing. Just talking about relationships and things that I like and I'm attracted to. And this person was like, oh my God, this is just too much. Like, I can't have this conversation. This is so awkward. And I'm like, what's awkward about talking about dating lives? And it was not the topic, it was how they handled the situation where they started to seem like they were annoyed by what I was talking about. And then they like got up and like tried to avoid me and walk away, which I took the clue right away and I just ended up avoiding them and doing my own thing. But this person is still part of my friend group, so they're still trying to talk to me and hang out with me. But I'm like, you've already established that you don't want to talk about the stuff I talk about. So I don't know what the point is of trying to invest in a friendship or connection further if you've already told me you just want a superficial connection. If that's all you want, I will show up, be that friend, have a few drinks with, to fill a few chairs so it looks like you're popular, and then I'll move on. But what I'm not about to do is keep trying to have conversations with people who aren't invested in me enough to listen, right? I don't need you to be invested in the topic, but if I'm talking to you and confiding in you, that's all you have to do is just say, oh, okay, interesting. Yeah, I can see where that's coming from. I've always made myself available to people to try to listen to their problems. And that's where my people pleasing came in that I had to work on, where I'm like, no, I'm not here to be your savior. I'm not here to fix you. I'm not here to heal you. I'm here to be an example. And if you get healed through the process, or if you want to pay me to help heal, then I can get that process started. But I'm not going to just be giving my energy away to those who actually don't want to receive it. It just sucks because a lot of friendships are like this. They're so superficial that these people are in your life and they're getting your time and they're all these other things that are very intimate. But then when it comes to conversation, that's off limits. And to me, that doesn't make sense. And to me, I'm like, I don't need those type of connections in my life. And I've learned the more and more and more I get older, I am okay hanging out by myself and just having associates that I kick it with once in a while. Because making friends as an adult just gets harder, where people have their stuff. And again, I don't mind if you have your stuff, but just come to me a little organized. You don't have to have it all sorted out, but just have it a little organized so that I know that when I'm interacting with you, it's not me feeling like I'm doing something wrong, right? Because that's where I think the hurt for me came in is I'm a big guy, I'm a big dude, so my mind is always thinking, I don't want to come off as someone who's too assertive and too, whatever. Like, I don't want to make someone feel weird. So I'm always trying to make sure I'm conscious of how people feel. But if I see that you're using that to abuse how people give you attention, I'm not going to call you out in front of everyone. I'm just going to take note and distance myself. Because there are a lot of people where they love to make everyone else's problems their problems. And then if you talk about anything related to their own life, it's a problem. So, yes, just be mindful of people who are overtly sensitive to the point that they make you feel unsafe to talk to them. Like they're cringing in their body and everything, like that kind of stuff. To me, that's so juvenile. I'm sorry, I get it. We're not all going to be on the same maturity level, but we have to learn how to have conversations that we might not always love. But if it's not hurting anyone, if the conversation is not a mean or nasty, condescending conversation, then I don't see the problem. But if that's how you feel, that's how you feel, right? I can't force someone to talk to me. I can't force someone to interact with me. But what I'm not going to do is force myself to interact with someone who doesn't want to interact with me. And so I say this with a loving heart. If you know you're this kind of person where you're always stressed about other people's stuff, it means you're not taking care of your own. It means that your emotional bag is full to the brim and you can't handle anything else because you haven't dealt with anything else, right? Taking on more of the outside world to try to mask is not going to help, right? This is where addictions and other things come in, the drinking and other. You can have an addiction to people, right? There's some people who go drink a whole bottle. There's some people who go surround themselves with dozens of people that they don't care about. To me, it's the same difference because you're still getting the same empty, shallow calories at the end of the day. And it's not worth it to me, right? So when you start noticing this, especially with new friendships, I hang out a few times and get to know people, but after a certain point again, if there's no real depth to the connection, then I will more than likely just detach myself. And so it's up to you guys what you want to do. If you want to choose to make those friendships work or try to be there for someone in that way, go for it. I like reciprocal relationships across the board. I don't like confusion, not with my friends, not with my lovers, not with anybody. It needs to be understanding that, hey, this is who we are, this is what we require, this is what we need to build this friendship and make it stronger. But I'm not going to chase you down to learn you. I'm not going to chase you down to understand you. And I'm definitely not going to communicate if you don't want to listen. So I hope this will make sense. I hope it lands well. If not, that's okay. Love ya.